Hello, my fellow YouTubers. This is Roy back again. I'm a little disappointed right at this second. I decided to wind up my second PMH, and I wound this on this iron core, and I'm getting half the voltage. Same amount of turns, same amount of wire, 1,500 turns on each one, 22 gauge. And I guess it's just too much iron. So I'm gonna unspool these. I guess the good thing is I got these out of sync. We'll do a test real quick here. Voltmeter's hooked up to that one over there. It's running into the doubler. And let's go ahead and give it a whirl. So, see, I'm only coming 11, 12 volts. Volts. Let's check it. Now I'll put a load on it. So that 12 volts will drop down. See, it went down to 6. The wheel's barely spinning. You can see it's barely on. Let's make it go faster. Light's bright, takes 12 volts to light that light up. Bunch of LEDs. We got 8.2 volts knocked down from what, 12? So it's a poor display of what this one is. This one's double, if not triple, what that is able to produce. Very disappointing. So what did we learn today? I mean, you gotta fail here, and this is not really failing. This is just a learning curve, but it took a long time this morning to wrap those frickin' ones up. So we can see we're at 5 volts, lights out. All right, let's go ahead and swap. Now we're gonna go from this one. Okay. Alrighty, so now we're gonna barely turn it. 5 volts. Well, let's do it without the load. Moving slow, we're at 8 volts. This baby's producing. Going through the doubler circuit. And we're sitting at a good 27 volts right there, 26. Let's go ahead and put a load on it. And if I can find the other damn wire, there it is. Put a load on it. Real bright. And it drops down to 8 volts, 8.5. Let's speed it up a little bit. So we'll maintain about 8 and change in volts. So let's go ahead and try one more thing before we bounce off this video here, but we're going to connect these two together and we'll see what happens with that number right there. Still maintaining 8, still staying on. Must be some good current going on. You're dropping down now. The wheel's slowing down. There you go. It just tinker it out. One thing about having the two PMHs and they're off sync a little bit from being lined up to the prong ends, it really wants to go. I mean, that's south and that's north. All right, so the other experiment I'll do with you guys is we're going to come off of come out of this. So come out of that one, and we're going to loop that into the start windings on this side. And then we're going to come out of this and we'll go into the double circuit, the doubler, which I'm going to mess with later on today and make a tripler, quadruple. We're going to go up in power. I have my what else do I have? We're going to do something pretty cool today. Later on we'll do a live broadcast. We got my flyback. We also have what Ed was able to get his hands on was a card distributor. And we're gonna, today, later on, live broadcast, we're gonna show that we're able to make a signal and we're going to send it out an antenna. And we're going to set up my tripod thing there, and we're going to see if we can receive the signal from the wheel, and that'll be a good start on transferring power wirelessly from this apparatus over to a tripod or so on. But by using a flyback or the coil, we'll probably use the flyback, come out of this into that, and then we'll go into a tank circuit and we'll incorporate these bottles, wind them up to be the tank circuit. So you have your inductance and then you'll have your capacitance, and we'll let them oscillate. You guys have a good day. So basically we're coming out of this one now and we're going into that, out of that, and we're going down to the one side of the doubler. Now let's go ahead and look. Get the wires off the wheel. That's a no-no. This is where to load. All right, so with the load, nothing changes there. So let's swap these two ends and see if it does anything. Oh no, oh no, oh no, Mister, oh no. Oh yeah, wires cannot be near the wheel. All right, so we're gonna swap. Power went back on. And we're wheels moving slow, we're 8.2. Let's see if we increased capability right there. Oh, it's still staying in the 8 range. Now if we disconnect the load, it's jumping up to 27 volts, 28 volts. So by adding the two sets of coils in series, we're able to get the volts up as a whole. So remember, we're not adding power to anything, we're just turning the wheel in front of the coils. And now these PMHs are turned into little heartbeats, pretty much, electromagnetic magnetic because the back EMF on the coil is expanding and creating a magnetic field, which is going to be strong magnetic field on this side, and the magnets are going to be responding. So what I want to do from that is create a tank circuit, and then come out of the tank circuit, and we're going to supply power to the magnets. So there'll be like a triangle thing going here, to where the tank circuit, when one field is collapsing, the other one's expanding. So you'll have expansion, you'll have contraction, and then you'll have vice versa, which is taking that back EMF and sending it to make the magnet stronger. So not only are we adding to the system, but the field is getting stronger. So when these magnets are stronger, it's going to make these PMH coils stronger, and they are going to make more ions into the capacitance, and when it has its back EMF, it's going to supply the power to the magnets, which should increase as well. And then I'll have to figure out how to dial that in. So you can see we're doing pretty good. Let's I guess these capacitors hold the charge. Let's somehow get rid of them. Ooh, there you go. All right, so we just zero that out. This is with a doubler in place. All right, guys, I'm not really disappointed, but I can unwind those suckers over there on iron. We'll get so much more because we already went through the process. You know, that one's lacking. You can't use an iron core. Why? I thought the iron core with the iron here would just make it all stronger, but it dampens it out. There's a problem there. Leave your comments. I'll roll up some new ones.